Welcome back to Sikkim 365 Radio. This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 5:55. Presented by Slapsticks Comedy Club. For ticket information, go to slapstickscomedy.com.
All right, top 5 coaches on the hot seat as we enter the college football season. I bet you both the guys to my right will guess who number 1 is, but we'll see. Number 5, Matt Wells at Texas Tech. They've got to get an identity in a hurry, guys, or Matt Wells is going to find himself looking for a job. And I think Matt Wells is probably a good coach. I don't know if he's the match at Texas Tech, and I don't know who they are. I don't think they do either.
Do you know the last time Tech had a winning season?
It's been a bit, hasn't it?
When Mahomes beat Baylor?
2015.
Mm-hmm.
2015, I believe, was the last year. They were 8-8, not 8-8. They're 8-14 now as Matt Wells enters his 3rd season. So he's 6 games under 500 so far as a head coach. Yeah, I mean, this is a year where he's got to show something. Especially with all the uncertainty moving forward, the last thing you want to do is be losing a lot of football games. Like, that's the last thing that you want. Not that if he goes out and wins a bunch this year that all of a sudden Tech's going to the Pac-12 as a result. But, yeah, Matt Wells certainly on the hot seat.
All right, number 4, DINO Babers at Syracuse. He's had some exciting times and some big wins for Syracuse, but mostly they either have this crazy game where you can't believe Syracuse is winning, or they're getting blown out. And he needs to be more consistent at Syracuse this year, or he's going to be out of a job.
Yeah, I think one of the most surprising things with Babers is just the bad quarterback play. He's a Browse offense guy. You expect him to be flying up and down the field, have great quarterback after great quarterback, and that really hadn't been the case. He's struggled mightily. He's been there a long time now. I mean, this is he's been there 5 years, I think, at this point. So yeah, I mean,
there's like more than that. Yeah, but I don't know the number.
It's somewhere around like 5 or 6. I think this might be year 6 for him. But I mean, either way, that's more than enough time to have shown something. So yeah, certainly on the hot seat and well under 500 so far.
All right, and I sometimes forget about Syracuse, and they talk about tradition
in football.
And then they had Donovan McNabb. They had a pretty good run, but I do. They just kind of seem like they're just there.
Yeah. Number 3, Justin Fuente at Virginia Tech.
Hot young coordinator, right? When growing up.
Well, yeah, but then he was at Memphis, and Mike Norvell and Justin Fuente, both the last 2 coordinators from Memphis, have gone to the ACC and gotten head coaching jobs. There's people on our message board that will talk about fire Justin Fuente. We're not even talking about Virginia Tech all the time on the chat. He has not done well, and part of Justin Fuente's problem is he took over for Mr. Virginia Tech football. I mean, let's face it, Frank Beamer built that, what they were. He built the whole culture. Justin Fuente hasn't even gotten him close to that yet, really, and Virginia Tech fans miss Beamer ball. And if Shane Beamer goes to South Carolina and does well within the next year or so, that's going to even make it worse for Justin Fuente, even though one thing has nothing to do with the other.
Yep.
Yeah, he has been a bit of a disappointment. I remember when Baylor was hiring Dave Aranda. Remember the Justin Fuente rumor popped up, and Virginia Tech fans, I think some of them were like, go. And then some of them were like, no way, why would you go to that dumpster fire and blah, blah, blah. But maybe some of those now wish that he had gone to Baylor. But I think everybody's happy around here with Dave Aranda for at least the time being. So, yeah, Fuente certainly on the hot seat. It's been very uninspiring and just doesn't feel like Virginia Tech anymore.
Yeah. Number 2, Clay Helton at USC. They've been clamoring at USC for somebody else other than Clay Helton, essentially, since Clay Helton got the job. But he does really need to start showing something here, especially if USC, they're always going to kind of have their power position in the Pac-12, but if they really want to have that power position and back it up, they've got to start showing something. I think they've got a good quarterback coming back in Keaton Slovis.
Oh, yeah.
But he's better than he's really good, right?
Yeah.
Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator,
Yeah, so they've got a shot, and Graham Harrell was a great hire for him. So we'll see if that makes a difference for the Trojans this year.
Yeah, I mean, they were, unbeaten in the regular season a year ago. It was a really weird season, though. But, yeah, I mean, he's at least an above 500 coach by a good little amount, but it's felt like pretty much 500. USC's not looking for barely above 500 football. I mean, that's fair to say. Been a lot of little things here and there where they've struggled, and they are a very undisciplined football team and have been, so they got to clean that up. But, yeah, he's had long enough now. It's been a weird roller coaster he's been on, too, but he's had long enough that it's understandable for him to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. And number 1, sorry, Smokey, but Scott Frost in Nebraska, I wasn't even really put him above 5, if not for the NCAA violations he may have committed during COVID. But if Nebraska's bad again and they've got these NCAA things and they can get out without having to pay his buyout, you would think that maybe they move on. And I hate to say that because I think
is this for me bringing up Willie Taggart?
No, I did this long before you did.
This is responsible.
This long before I did that.
I know.
So
well, you didn't know. I'm glad I brought up Taggart. Now.
Yeah, I mean you should.
Willie Taggart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you and I have been in a lot of pain the last 5 or 6 years, and for me, even longer than that, because at least Jameis Winston won a national title.
It's been 8 years since that happened, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like with, I don't feel like USC really has an identity anymore, and I don't feel like Virginia Tech really has an identity anymore. And with Virginia Tech, it's more understandable because that was Beamer. Like, that was Beamer's program. But they're just they're names and really just kind of names now, and Nebraska is one of those too. It's just like a name. It doesn't have an identity. It's not the black shirts. Yep. It's not the option. It's not any of that stuff that made them unique in who they are. And that's kind of what I was hoping for with Scott Frost coming in, is to have more of an identity, but they don't have one at all. And it seems like these things aren't really right with him in administration. And yeah, it's been the complete opposite of what I was hoping for and expecting with Scott Frost in Nebraska.
Yeah, I've got a lot of T-shirts, and not a lot of them ever come out of the closet.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming out of the closet, Paul. That's what I'm not doing. And
Great way to end the show. Big announcement.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Hey, tomorrow, North Texas head coach Seth Luttrell will be a part